Me voy. Yo voy. What's the difference? Welcome to the Reflexive Verbs workshop. In this workshop, we're going to teach you one of the things that drive students crazy, reflexive verbs, because they don't exist in English. But they're very important. You need to use them. We're going to make them simple for you right here. There are rules. There are things that you can learn to simplify it. That's what we're going to do. So check it out. Looking forward to seeing you in the workshop, and stay tuned at the end for more tips and more ways we can help you, as well as free resources. So here we go. Check it out. Vámonos. Okay. All right. Bienvenidos, amigos. Welcome, everybody, to our Reflexive Verbs workshop. Now we're officially getting started. This is, I'm here with Ali. Hola, Ali, otra vez.
Hola a todos, bienvenidos.
And so Ali and I were part of a group of coaches that have a program called Fast Conversational Spanish, where we help you achieve the goal of being conversational or fluent. And we work with our students until they get there. We go all the way. So that's what we do. We'll have more information about it at the end if you're interested in learning more. But it's a beautiful language. There's so much to learn, and it's worth it once you do, to immerse, to make friends, relationships, volunteer opportunities, travel, all kind of great things once you cross the line and become conversational. So good. Today we're talking about reflexive verbs. And this is a challenging topic, a topic that confuses people, a topic that often prevents people from getting over the intermediate plateau, as I like to call it. But it's important. It's everywhere. And we're going to learn today how they work. All right. By the end of this workshop, you should know pretty well how reflexive verbs work and be able to use them comfortably. Okay. So, and understand them, most importantly. All right. If you have any questions, just fire it in the chat. Okay, so let's get the chat out so that I know everyone knows where that is. Just say hola in the chat. JD says hola, Meta says hola, Candace says hola. All right, Sharon says hola. All right, I think that's everyone. Dave says hola. Okay, good. Here we go. All right, let's start with a quiz. All right. Yo llamo. Okay. Yo llamo, me llamo. All right. Who wants to take a guess at what these mean? Who wants to be my translator? First one to shout it out wins.
Me llamo, I am.
Say that again.
I'm called.
I'm called. Okay.
I'm named.
Okay. And yo llamo?
That's just, I've never seen it that way.
Okay. Okay, we take a guess.
I name something else.
Okay, good guesses. We'll see if you're right. Anyone else have a different guess? Yo llamo and me llamo.
I call myself.
Which one?
Yo llamo is I call myself.
Okay. Any other guesses? Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I would vote for Me llamo, as I call myself, and Yo llamo, as I call something else.
Okay, good. Sharon, Meta, any guesses? You're on mute. Check your mute buttons.
Me llamo is I call myself, I believe, and yo llamo is I call.
Good. Okay. And next one, yo voy, me voy. Who wants to take a stab at these two? Do.
Yo voy is
Okay,
I
I go.
go. Is I
Okay.
go.
Go ahead, Candace.
Yo voy is I go, but me voy, again, I've not seen that.
Okay.
Voy.
Anyone else?
Well, my neighbors, when you knock at the door or when they call into your house, or when you go to their house, they'll say, me boy, I'm coming.
Okay. Okay. And
Or
good.
just boy.
Good. All
I
right.
think yo voy is I'm leaving and me voy is I'm coming.
Okay. Let's take a look. Here we go. All right. Yo llamo is I call someone, or I call something, or I call to someone. Me llamo is I call myself. Okay. You would actually could say yo me llamo. Okay. Yo me llamo. All right. I call yo llamo. I call myself. So when you say me llamo John, you're really saying I call myself John. Okay. You're not really saying my name is John. You're saying I call myself John. Okay. Yo voy means I go. Yo me voy or yo me voy, same thing, means I leave or I'm leaving. Okay. Now here's for bonus points. What does the me mean in this sentence?
There is no direct translation.
Good. That's correct. There is no direct translation to English. There is in this one. Me llamo, I call myself. Me means myself. But in this
By the
one,
way, my high school Spanish teacher is clapping her hands right now.
yes. You remembered just a few years ago, right?
Yeah, about a
Exactly.
million few years ago.
So that's right. So in this example, it means nothing in English. Okay. We're going to get into why. That's what we're learning today. Why do you use may sometimes and not other times? Okay. And what does it mean? All right. So putting this in context, all right, for those of you who have been in my workshops, you've seen this before. We want to put this in context because why are you sitting here? Why are you wasting an hour of your day that you could be out in the sun on the beach, right? Why are we here putting in time, effort, and energy? It's not because we love grammar and reflexive verbs. It's because we want something. We want a relationship. We want friends. We want to connect with people. This is what we want. We don't want to be Will Ferrell. Okay? That's how you look right now when they talk to you. Okay? Many of you. All right? The difference between survival Spanish and conversational Spanish is this: memorization versus improvisation, speaking versus listening, and vocabulary versus all skills. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. Okay. All right, everybody, how would you say I want tacos?
Yo quiero tacos.
That's right. Now, you say to the waiter, yo quiero tacos, and Ali is the waiter, and Ali replies with any of these.
Los traigo enseguida.
Okay, what would you say?
Me or
No, what would the people say? So the waiter says, or waitress says, los traigo enseguida. What would you guys say to the waiter? Not you, Ali. I'm asking them.
Okay.
Más despacio, por favor.
That's
No,
right.
bueno, síguele.
Okay. So this is the difference. This shows you the difference between survival and conversational Spanish. Okay. Survival Spanish is about memorizing things that you can say to other people. You don't need a lot of grammar for that. You just need a brain and memorize things. Okay, that's it. But the problem is that you can't memorize what they're going to say back to you, because they're going to say anything. They could say any of these 20 things and they could say 100 more. All right. You cannot script conversation. You can script survival. You can script what you want to say. You cannot script what anybody will say back to you. All right. And in order to have the tools, so if you look at this like an iceberg, survival Spanish is the tip of the iceberg, conversational is the whole iceberg. All right. So everyone's memorizing what you want to say, but how are you going to understand them? They're not going to use beginner Spanish. They're not going to stick with baby Spanish. They're going to speak fluent Spanish every time. So unless you have a wide range of skills, tools, grammar, verbs, tenses, pronunciation, and listening skills, unless you have a lot of tools, right? All the skills and a very strong grasp of a lot of grammar, vocabulary, and so on, you won't have any hope of understanding a fluent speaker in general conversation. There's just too many things he might say. So you need the tools, enough tools to improvise. That's what we give you. We give you the minimum amount of tools you need to improvise, and that is a lot. It's not a little, okay? This is just another example of the same thing. But basically, if someone asked you to tell them about your day, and you told them about your day, and then you told 6 other people, you would tell those 6 people 6 different stories. Even if you're telling about the same day, there's no way you can script conversation. There's just too many ways to say the same thing. All right. So here in this example, keep going straight. Oops. There's 20 ways to say keep going straight, and they all make sense. Right? So, and same in English, like, hey, go straight, keep going, go ahead, that way, go, right? You know, keep on going. So there's 20 ways you can say the same thing in any language. All right. So we need more tools than that. We can't memorize conversation. We have to have the tools. Reflexive verbs is one of those big tools. All right. So we'll talk about this later. Let's get into reflexive verbs now. All right. But we'll talk later about this. But the tools that you need are here. And we're talking about getting you to a B2 level. Sorry, lost my thing. Okay. We're talking about getting you to a B2 level or above. Anything below that is glorified survival Spanish. Anything below that is memorizing random stuff. And that's the problem. People feel good. They memorize random stuff for a long, long time, and it feels good for a while. You feel like you're making progress, and then you hit this massive plateau because the way you got survival Spanish is totally different than how you're going to get conversational. You can't just memorize random stuff and get conversational. It'll never happen. So you've got to have more tools than that so people really plateau at the B1 level. All right, so here we go. That's not going to be us. We need pronunciation skills, listening skills, 200 verbs, 8 verb tenses, 200 glue words, and 50 vocabulary topics. We'll come back to this later. All right, in the meantime, let's get into reflexive verbs. Here we go. Any questions just about that before we get into the actual lesson? Questions? Good? All right, cool. So first, before we teach you reflexive verbs, since I don't know any of you and you're not in our regular course, I have to make sure you understand regular verbs. Then we can teach you reflexives. Here's a verb. Subject, verb, and everything else. Okay, I is a subject. I eat. Verb, I eat pizza. I eat pizza with my friends, whatever. Okay, the verb is the action word. Okay, yo como pizza. In Spanish, they conjugate verbs. In English, we conjugate verbs. Here's how they conjugate verbs in Spanish. All right. Don't worry about this chart just yet. We're going to start teaching you how to do English first, and then we'll teach you how to do Spanish. Okay. This is a verb in English, to talk. All right. There are 3 steps to conjugating verbs in English. Step 1, delete the 2. Step 2, add a subject. Step 3, add an ending if necessary. Right? 1, 2, 3. Make sense? Everyone's with that?
Mm,
Okay. Spanish also has 3 steps. Okay. And they're almost identical to English, except for the first step. The first step is different because in Spanish, they don't say tu hablar. They just say hablar. So instead of deleting the 2, they delete the ending. And then they add a subject, John. And then they add a new ending. Okay. And let's say the subject is yo. Hablo. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So steps 2 and 3 are the same. All right. Add a subject, add a new ending. Step 1, in English, delete the 2. In Spanish, delete the ending, the AR, ER, or IR. Everybody following so far? Every verb in the Spanish language has an ending. It's either AR, ER, or IR. That's called the unconjugated or infinitive form of the verb. Then you conjugate it, you change the ending. So conjugation is all about the endings. In Spanish has a lot more endings than English. That's what makes it so hard. Okay. There's 200 ways to conjugate hablar in Spanish. That's a lot.
Jesus,
right.
I'm terrified.
Okay. So we have to narrow this down. All right. So this is the present tense. I eat, I walk, I talk. These are the endings for the present tense right here. And these down below, these are called irregulars that don't follow the rules. So you have to learn the irregulars separately. Today, we're just focusing on regulars. Okay, so here are the regulars. All right. Yo hablo, I talk. So hablar is to talk. I talk, yo hablo. You talk, tú hablas. My friend talks, mi amigo habla. My friends talk, mis amigos hablan. And we talk, nosotros hablamos. Okay. Any questions on that? The AR verbs. We all good? Okay. ER and ER verbs. Okay. Comer, I eat, yo como. You eat, tú comes, my friend eats, mi amigo come, my friends eat, mis amigos comen, and we eat, nosotros comemos. And any questions on that? And the IR verbs, vivir, to live, I live, yo vivo. You live, tú vives, my friend lives, mi amigo vive, my friends live, mis amigos viven, we live, nosotros vivimos. Yeah? Good? Okay, so just for fun, let's do a couple of verbs. All right. JD, I answer.
mm.
Contestar.
Yo contesto.
And you answer.
Yo contestas.
Tú contestas.
Tú contestas, sorry.
Okay. All right. And my friend answers.
Mi amigo contesta.
And my friends answer.
Mis amigos contestan.
Good. All right. And we answer.
Nosotros contestamos.
Good. All right. Why did I choose all AR verbs for this? Okay, let's do beber. Who wants to do beber? Volunteer, Sharon, Meta, Candace.
Sure.
Go for it. I drink.
Yo bebo,
You drink.
Two bebos.
Bebos.
Mhm.
Take a look at the chart. Okay, is it an
Bebes, bebes,
ARTR?
sorry, yeah, two bebes,
All right, bebes.
bebes, two
Okay.
bebes.
Bebes. And my friend drinks.
Mi amigo bebe,
Yeah, and my friends drink.
mis amigos beben,
Okay, and we drink.
nosotros bebemos.
Good. All right. Let me think of and Ali, help me think of an IR verb right quick. Vivir. Salir is irregular, not an irregular.
Escribir.
Escribir, thank you.
All right.
Okay, who wants to do escribir, to write? Sharon or Meta or Candace?
I'll do it.
Go for it.
Yo escribo.
Okay. Yo escribo. You
Tú
write.
tú escribes.
My friend writes.
Él escribe.
My friends write.
Ellos escriben.
Let me make a point because I said my friend writes and you
Oh,
said él
sorry.
escribe. Okay. Él means he.
He, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, so mi
Mis
amigo. Yeah.
Mi amigo escribe, mis amigos escriben.
But you're not wrong on the conjugation. If it's he writes, it'd be él escribe and
Yes.
they write ellos escriben.
Yeah,
And
I wasn't.
good. And we write.
Nosotros escribimos.
Good. All right. So anyone have questions about these? We all good on normal regular verb conjugation, right? Good, good, good.
Sí,
All
sí.
right, cool. Now we're ready for reflexive verbs. Okay, here we go. I ask myself, yo me pregunto. That's an example of a reflexive verb. All right, so we have the same chart for preguntar. I ask, yo pregunto. You ask, tú preguntas, mi amigo pregunta, mis amigos preguntan, nosotros preguntamos. All right, down here, we have another verb that looks very similar, but there's a difference. All right, it's preguntar and it's preguntarse. What does it mean? It means to wonder, but another way to look at it would be to ask yourself. Okay, so a lot of people like to think of reflexive verbs as meaning oneself. All right, that's only sometimes true. It's not always true, but in this case, it makes sense. Okay, so if you say, I wonder, it's preguntarse. If you say, I ask, it's preguntar. All right, so I ask myself, you know, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so what is the difference? What's going on here? Well, essentially, they add something that's called a reflexive pronoun. Basically, they add a little thing in front of the verb. Everything is the same. Preguntar and preguntarse are the same. They conjugate exactly the same. The only difference is this little reflexive pronoun they stick in front of it. So instead of yo pregunto, I ask. Yo me pregunto, I ask myself. Tú preguntas, you ask. Tú te preguntas, you ask yourself. My friend asks, mi amigo pregunta. My friend asks himself, mi amigo se pregunta. Or él se pregunta. Or John se pregunta. Any singular person, se pregunta. My friends ask, mis amigos preguntan. My friends ask themselves, mis amigos se preguntan. Yes, it's the exact same thing for singular and plural. They ask themselves. Ellos se preguntan. John and Maria ask themselves. John y Maria se preguntan. And then we ask, nosotros preguntamos, and we ask ourselves, nosotros nos preguntamos. Okay, any questions on preguntar versus preguntarse? Crystal clear? Yeah?
So far.
Let's find out. Okay. So this is just the same thing. Okay, I ask, etc., etc. Yo pregunto, tú preguntas, usted pregunta, él pregunta, ella pregunta, ellos preguntan, ellas preguntan, ustedes preguntan, nosotros preguntamos. Mi amigo pregunta, mis amigos preguntan. And then we add the reflexive. Right? So, Ali, we'll just go down the list. I'll say the English, you say the Spanish. I ask myself.
Me pregunto,
You ask yourself.
te preguntas,
You ask yourself, formal.
te pregunta,
Okay, include the subject here just to be super clear. So, usted se pregunta. He asks himself.
él se pregunta,
She asks herself.
ella se pregunta,
They ask themselves.
ellos se preguntan,
They ask themselves, female.
ellas se preguntan,
You guys ask yourselves.
ustedes se preguntan,
We ask ourselves.
nosotros nos preguntamos.
My friend asks himself.
Mi amigo se pregunta,
And my friends ask themselves.
mis amigos se preguntan.
All right. But as I said before, I'm trying to make this easier for you by saying I ask myself, but the real definition is I wonder. So it's really saying I wonder. Okay, so what are you saying? If you would say, I wonder what time it is. Who wants to say, I wonder what time it is? I wonder what time it is.
Me pregunto qué hora es.
All right. Me pregunto qué hora es. Muy bien.
So how do you say I ask myself if this means I wonder?
They both mean the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. One and the same. All right. I wonder where the restaurant is. Who wants to try that? I wonder where the restaurant is.
Me pregunto que dónde está el restaurante.
Okay. You don't need the K there. You can just say donde. I wonder where.
Me pregunto dónde está el restaurante.
Yes. Okay. So, all right. That's it. How would you say John wonders where the restaurant is?
John se pregunta dónde está el restaurante.
That's right. Okay. Ali, anything to add to that? All good, right? Cool.
Todo bien.
All right. Now we get into the funny business. Okay. I leave. Yo me voy. What does me mean in this sentence?
It doesn't translate?
It doesn't translate to anything. It doesn't mean I, that's yo.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean leave. That's the verb voy. But it's complicated, right? It doesn't really translate. Okay. So ir is the verb to go. Irse is the verb to leave. It works exactly the same as preguntarse. But the only problem is there's no myself in it, right? You don't say I go and I go myself. I go and I go myself. John goes himself. That has no one in English would ever say that. No one in our entire lives has ever said that. Right? So people try to stretch their brain and try to say, well, it means I go myself. That have you ever in your life heard anybody say that in your entire life speaking English? No. So stop trying to make Spanish fit into English. It doesn't always fit into English. Sometimes it's just what it is. Right? And the sooner you get that reflexive verbs don't have to have a meaning in English, the easier your life will be. Instead of thinking of reflexive verbs as some translation, start thinking of them as just separate verbs, and that's it. So instead of trying to think of preguntarse as I ask myself, just start thinking preguntarse as I wonder, to wonder. Stop trying to translate reflexive verbs. Just start thinking of reflexive verbs as their own verbs. Just different verbs with a little extra something. Okay? So, irse means to leave. It doesn't mean to go yourself. It doesn't. Okay? It just means to leave, and all you have to do it correctly is add the reflexive, and you've done it correctly, and that's it. Instead of yo voy, it's yo me voy. I leave. Tu te vas, you leave. Mi amigo se va, my friend leaves. Mis amigos se van, my friends leave, and nosotros nos vamos, we leave. And that's it.
So
Don't
nos
try to-
nos vamos is to say we leave or we are leaving.
Yeah. Yeah. They casually use it to mean I leave or I'm leaving, I go or I'm going. Yo voy, I'm going. All right. Or I go. Either one. Okay. That's not true for all verbs, but it is for ir. All right. So let's take a look at some examples, shall we?
Okay, so como se dice leave me alone?
Oh,
Is it the
that's a
same- is
totally
it the same-
different verb.
It's totally
Okay.
different verb. Okay.
I would say me dejas en paz. What would you say, Ali? Leave me alone. Déjame en paz.
Déjame en paz.
Yeah, dejar is a different leave. It's not like a leaving. It's like leaving something alone or leaving something behind. Dejar.
No me molesta.
Okay.
No me molesta.
Don't bother me. Don't bother.
Pero don't bother me. Exacto, no me molesta.
All right. But this is
Peter?
Yes.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
So do you always have to put the yo to
No,
with
you
that?
do not.
No.
You do not. In the
Okay.
same way in Spanish, that's a good point. I forgot to mention. In Spanish, you never have to put the subject if it's clear who you're talking about.
Okay.
And that's just as true for reflexive verbs as it is for normal verbs. If you say hablo español or yo hablo español, they both mean the same thing.
But when learning this is important to maybe have made yo to, etc. when learning that.
The reason I
So-
include it is because
Yeah.
the reason I teach it with the subject is because
Mhm.
people need to understand that this is not replacing the subject.
Okay.
It's not a replacement for el. It's not a replacement for ea. Okay, it's an extra thing. It's like an extra appendage.
Okay.
Okay, yo is yo. Me is different. Yo does not mean me, and me does not mean yo.
Right.
Got
Okay.
that?
Yep.
All right, so you can
Okay.
say yo me pregunto or me pregunto. They're both equally correct. All right, just as you can say pregunto or yo pregunto, equally correct. Voy or yo voy. Me voy, yo me voy. Okay, the subject is not the reflexive. The reflexive is not the subject. The reflexive is the reflexive. The subject is the subject. They're two totally different things.
Gotcha.
Okay, not to be confused with gustar. Me gusta. Totally different situation. Gustar is not a reflexive verb. It's a whole nother world unto itself. Okay, you cannot say yo me gusta. You cannot say, and I apologize if I'm yelling because they're banging jackhammers outside my apartment. I don't know if you can hear that or not.
No.
Okay, good, because I can barely hear myself. Okay. So good question. Any other questions? Here's some
Yeah.
examples.
Yeah, so we say vámonos here. Is that really that's the same as nos vamos, vámonos, right?
Vámonos, just like this.
Vámonos.
Okay. Does anyone know what this means here? Vámonos.
You know what it
There you
means?
go.
What
Yeah,
does it, what does
Let's
it
go.
mean?
Let's go.
It doesn't mean let's go.
No?
No. If I want to, I'm being a little bit nitpicky, but I'm driving home an important point.
Yeah.
It
Well,
does
you just-
not, it
you
does
just
not mean
killed my
let's
idea.
go.
You just killed my ideas that Dora the Explorer taught me the right way.
Okay, well, she probably did okay, but these little differences are not going to make. This is the difference between survival and conversational Spanish right here. Survival Spanish is you've memorized random crap and you have no idea how it works. You cannot build on survival Spanish. You have to understand the structure if you want to ever have any hope to ever in your lifetime be conversational. You have to know the structure. You have to know why and how it works to build on it. Otherwise, you can't use it with anything else than that one word that you memorized. Okay? This is a perfect example of you guys have been memorizing stuff that you don't understand. And that's been why you haven't advanced where you want to get. And that's why things that Ali and I do every day is help people actually understand what the heck is going on. The lesson you're getting in 1 hour, years of classes. How many years have you taken classes, everybody? JD, how many years of Spanish classes have you taken?
Not even 1 year.
Okay, you're new. Okay. Sharon, what about you?
5 years off and on.
5 years. Dave, how about you?
well, around 3, but yeah,
3.
mostly
Okay.
catch as catch can.
Yeah. And Candace, how about you?
2 in high school, 2 in college, and college was almost 40 years ago.
Okay. And recently?
Nada.
Okay, getting back to it. Okay.
No, I lived in Germany, so my brain thinks in
Okay.
German.
Okay. Okay. But at 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? You guys have been studying for years, a number of years. It shouldn't take you that long to learn these things. That's what we do. In 15 hours, we're going to teach you everything you've ever wanted to know about Spanish structure.
Yeah. Thing about this one is we've been listening to, well, decades of movies.
Yeah,
Vámonos, muchachos.
no, that's survival Spanish.
Yeah, it kind of gets burned in your brain though.
Yeah, and it works, like you'll learn it. But the problem is there's a lot of stuff that you hear that you don't understand. But if you knew the structure of Spanish, you would.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you're missing only because you don't understand how vámonos comes together. So here's the answer to vámonos.
Thank you.
Vámonos is really vamosnos. It's an imperative. It's a command from nos vamos. Nos vamos means what?
Let's go.
Yeah.
No, you've just learned it up here. You just learned nos vamos means
Let's leave.
Let's
we
leave.
leave.
We leave. We leave. Yeah.
Okay.
We leave.
Nos vamos means we go. Nos vamos means we leave or we're leaving. Okay. Vamos, all right, with an exclamation point means let's go. And vámonos is the infinitive form of nos vamos is let's leave. Okay. Vámonos comes from irse and vamos comes from ir. Vámonos comes from nos vamos. Vamos comes from vamos, right? It's ir versus irse.
So vámonos is imperative then.
Yes, these are both imperative. Even though vamos looks the same as the normal present tense, that is actually the imperative tense as well there.
Ah,
Okay, so these are both imperative tenses, commands. All right, so this is vámonos means let's leave. And I know that it doesn't make a big difference, but it does because now you understand that where it comes from. Right? It does when you understand the difference between ir and irse is the difference between a regular verb and a reflexive verb. Right? That's why this matters, because now you understand, oh, okay, this is how reflexive verbs work. This is how I do them in the present tense, the past tense, the imperative. Now you can do them in all the tenses. Once you learn all the tenses, it's not a big deal. But if you don't understand how reflexive verbs work in the beginning, you can't do them with all the different tenses either. Right? Same with, me fui or se fue. You guys have all heard se fue.
Mm.
So what does se fue mean?
was,
He went.
He left.
was. Oh,
Left?
Yeah,
Left, to leave. Fue, el fue means he went, to go. El se fue means he left, to leave.
Ah,
To go and to leave, to go and to leave. Irse. Okay. El fue, he went. El se fue, he left. Starting to make sense?
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
I ask a question about fue,
Yeah.
not to derail. I learned in a conversational class that the following fue was important to just, in my brain was to distinguish to go from or the past tense of to go from the past tense of are to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with context, you'll know.
So okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We're getting
I mean,
off.
yeah.
We're getting
Okay.
off track. We're getting off track.
Well,
Okay. It just fue can mean ser or ir. That's what he's
Yeah.
referring to.
if you're
Fue.
using
It's okay. We're getting off track. We're getting off track.
yeah, say fue, would that require the though, or
Forget
that would be clear
forget
also.
it. Forget it. Just focus on.
Okay,
Yeah, you're going into way muddy the waters. Okay. Ir is fue or se fue or me or whatever, past tense. Me fui, te fuiste, se fue, se fueron, nos fuimos. Okay, that's the past tense of irse. Okay, that's it. I left, he left, she left, they left, you left, we left, whatever. All right. Fui, fuiste, fue, fueron, fuimos. Okay. Cool. So let's look at a few other verbs here. Divertir, to amuse, and divertirse, to have fun. All right. So divertir, divierto. Yo divierto, I amuse the kids. Tu diviertes, mi amigo divierte, mis amigos divierten, nosotros divertimos. Okay. Good. So to have fun is divertirse. Now, if you follow the old way where you think the reflexive verb is myself, you might say, I amuse myself. Right? But that's not what you're really trying to say. Did you have fun at the party? You're not going to ever say to someone, did you amuse yourself at the party? That sounds wrong. Okay, that just sounds wrong. So stop trying to turn it into himself or herself. Divertirse means to have fun, and that's it. Don't try to connect it to divertir. Divertir is its own verb, amuse, and divertirse is another verb to have fun, and that's it. Okay, so how would you say I have fun, Dave?
yo me divierto.
Good. And Sharon, you have fun?
tú te diviertes.
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 Candace, my friend has fun,
Mi amiga se divierte.
and my friends have fun.
Oh, mis amigos se divierten.
Good, I didn't call on you, JD, I forgot. JD, we have fun.
Nosotros nos divertimos.
Good. Okay, so good. I amuse the kids. Yo divierto a los niños. I have fun. Yo me divierto. All right. They're
Con los niños.
what?
Con los niños.
No, I amuse the kids.
No, I'm saying I have fun. I amuse the kids, but then I have fun is me divierto con los niños.
Right. Yeah. If you have fun with the kids, me divierto con los niños. Yeah, con los niños. Yeah. Okay. So I amuse the kids. Yo divierto a los niños. That doesn't mean anything in English either. It's called personal. And then I have fun with the kids. Yo me divierto con los niños. All right, here's another example. Let's do this one. To wash and to wash yourself. Oh, we'll do this. To feel and to feel. So the first one is to feel, like you feel the wind, you feel the air, you feel the water, you feel the table, you feel the wall, you feel something outside of yourself. Right? So Ali, give me a sentence with sentir.
Me siento bien.
No, sentir, not sentirse.
Sentir, siento dolor en mi cabeza.
Okay, or what about I feel the water?
Siento agua.
Like I'm touching the water. I feel the water. I feel the
Siento
Siento el
mojada.
agua. Siento el agua.
siento el agua. Okay, but then her other sentence was like, I feel fine. Me siento bien. Right? Or I feel happy. Me siento feliz. Right? So it's a subtle difference, but they're different. They're different verbs for different uses. Right? Sentir is for something outside of yourself, and sentirse is more for something inside of yourself. Does that make sense? Okay. Me siento feliz. All right. We've done ir, we've done irse, we've done preguntar and preguntar. How about wash and wash yourself? So, but without giving you the answer, somebody give me a sentence with lavar. Not lavarse, lavar. Give me a sentence with lavar. Who wants to try?
I will.
Okay.
Yo lavo mi perro.
Okay, good. Yo lavo a mi perro. I wash my dog. Okay. Or I wash the dishes. Yo lavo los platos. Okay. And somebody else, give me a sentence with lavarse.
I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Yo me lavo mis manos.
Good. And you did it correctly. Me lavo mis manos. Yo me lavo mis manos. So this is again the danger of trying to translate it to yourself. Okay. You could say los manos, me lavo los manos. Ali, does it matter? Mis manos or los manos?
Me lavo las manos, me lavo
Oh,
mis
excuse me, las manos. Yes, sorry. Me lavo las manos. But
Me lavo las manos, me lavo mis manos.
they both work, you know?
Sí.
So if you were to translate this literally as to wash yourself, it would be, I wash myself my hands, and that doesn't make any sense. Right? That's not what we would say. So that's again why it doesn't help us to think of oneself. It's better to just think of it as its own verb. Lavar means to wash, and lavarse is more to wash yourself. I wash my hands. Me lavo mis manos. Like it's just when you talk about washing a part of yourself, you use lavarse. right? That's it. So yo me lavo mis manos. So how would you say, Dave, John washes his hands?
John se lava las manos.
Good, that's right. Okay. You guys, you have now learned reflexive verbs. Me, te, say, nos. These are the 5 reflexives. If it's a reflexive verb, you just add me, te, say, nos in front of the verb and conjugate it like you would a non-reflexive verb.
Cuando
That-
hablamos del ejemplo de no escuché quién dijo lavo mi perro,
yeah,
es más común usar baño mi perro.
gracias. Okay. So Allie's just saying she wouldn't say I wash my dog with lavar. She would say it, I bathe my dog, bañar.
Bañar. There's bañar y bañarse también.
Yeah, and like I bathe myself, I take a shower, me baño. Okay. And these are the subtleties that there's infinite subtleties of when they say wash the dishes versus wash yourself versus wash your dog, right? There's the Spanish verbs and English verbs, you know, sometimes they connect. Like yo voy, that's I go, that makes sense. But and I ask, yo pregunto, but sometimes like I wonder and I wash, they don't connect perfectly, right? So the main point is you have to understand reflexives they don't need to be translated to English. Just leave that alone. Just look at them as an extra little thing. If it's a reflexive verb, you just add this little thing to it. Me, te, say, nos, and that's it. Trying to get into, does it mean himself or not, or when? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Bottom line, it doesn't matter. Okay, all you need to know is that if I wash my hands, it's yo me lavo mis manos y tú te lavas tus manos. I wonder, yo me pregunto, you wonder, tú te preguntas. I leave, me voy. You leave, tú te vas. Right? You don't need to try to translate it. You just need to know if it's a reflexive, you add a reflexive pronoun. That's it. So we have, these are some examples. How are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good. At just yeah, I don't even know. I'm going down a tangent. We're not going to go down this tangent, but these are some common reflexive verbs. Okay. Bañarse, llamarse, cepillarse, quemarse, caerse, sentirse, vestirse, levantarse, divertirse, reírse, irse, verse, encontrarse, relajarse, ducharse, sentarse, quedarse, despertarse, lavarse. These are some very useful common reflexive verbs. Okay. So we have in our full course, our students, this would be like a lecture. And we would teach this lecture on video. Okay. So I'll copy this and paste it here. Okay, so we'd have a video, reflexive verbs, and we would teach you about reflexive verbs. And then below the video, we have flashcards. Okay, I have a full set here. This is oh no, this is the same one. Okay. So we have flashcards. All right. So this is just conjugation. So nosotros relajarse. How would we conjugate? We relax. How would we conjugate this?
Nosotros.
Nos relajamos.
Nosotros nos relajamos. All right, singular lavarse. How would we conjugate this?
Yo me lavo.
Me levar. Yo me levar. Levo. Yo me levo.
Me levo.
Singular se lava.
Okay, singular is like John, mi amigo, él, ella. Singular,
Oh, singular.
se lava. Okay. Cepillarse, singular cepillarse, like John brushes his teeth.
Se cepilla.
Él te
Cepilla.
cepilla.
Singular se cepilla.
Okay. And then we give you, whoops. Then we give you sentences to practice with. It's all depends on what you're working on. Like if you're working on the present tense, okay, then you'll work on these reflexive verbs in the present tense. So we relax today, right? They're mixed up with other verbs. So here's one. Juan se queda en la casa. What does that mean? Anybody know?
He stays at home.
Yeah.
One stays at home.
Juan stays in the house.
Juan se queda en la casa.
Okay. All right, what is
Juan
it?
y Juanita se cepillan los dientes.
Juan and Juanita brush their teeth.
Juan and Juanita brush the teeth.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Juan and Juanita brush the teeth.
So we give you videos and we give you, all right. Gotta run, Sharon. All right. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, if you want to learn Spanish, Ali, the team and I, we have a great team. You may have, I already showed you, this is our team. Okay. We get people to their finish line. We get people to the goal. All right. If you join your team, we work with you until you reach your goal. Conversational or fluency, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Okay. And first step is our 15-hour essentials, where you learn all of this. And I need to redo this little graphic here. I forgot to finish that. Okay, cool. So we're going to teach you all of the essentials, how to read and listen, how to hear Spanish, memorizing vocabulary, creating conversation, sentence structure, question structure, masculine, feminine, to be verbs, special to be verbs, magic verbs, glue words. Glue words covers a lot of ground. Pronouns, preposition, or not pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, adverbs, things like that. Then pronouns, then the present tense, then special tenses like reflexive. So, like that. And then all the verb tenses. Then the present tense, then special tenses like somebody has a feedback, so I have to mute you guys. Okay, so in 15 hours, you're going to learn everything you need. And then you'll go on to conversational Spanish, which is 8 verb tenses, 200 verbs, 200 glue words, 2000 vocabulary. And you can have one-on-one conversations with anybody. And then the Fluent program, 34 verb tenses, 800 verbs, more vocabulary, conversations in groups, and understand difficult situations like comedy. Okay, so this is what we do every day. All right. If you're interested in more information, you can give me your contact information, book or schedule a call. We analyze your goals together. All right. Trying to move everyone's face. Okay. So you can check out our group, but the best thing is go to our website, check it out, and book a call. Okay. Get a one-on-one. All right. etc., 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 etc. Happy students. All right. We've done this for over 40 years together, our team. We have unlimited classes, unlimited videos and flashcards, 24/7 WhatsApp support, literally everything you need all day, every day, until you reach your goal. This is no excuse Spanish. We get people in and we work with you until you reach your goal. This is your one-stop shop. We have a system. We personalize it, figure out what you need. Okay, here's our 15-hour essentials. All right, intro. First, you learn how to read. Then you learn how to listen. Learn some essential vocabulary. Learn how to create your own vocabulary lessons and conversations, and then sentence structure. All the things I showed you is all here. All of these videos add up to 15 hours. So in 15 hours, you're going to know every single thing there is to know about Spanish, how it works. Okay. And then from there, it's like building a house. Once the structure is built, now we just pile on more vocabulary, right? More words, more verbs, more nouns, more adjectives. But first we got to build the structure. Then we can decorate the walls and add colors to it. All right. So first job, structure. Second job, conversational. Third job, fluency. All right. Unlimited classes. We have classes going all day, every day. We have happy students, happy students. You can read through these on the website. Okay. And so on and so forth. Okay. So questions, fire them away. We have our free Facebook group. And then we have our paid Facebook group with our unlimited classes going all day, every day, Monday through Friday. And we have one-on-ones as needed, small group classes all day, one-on-ones whenever you need. All right, so fire away, reflexives. Whoops. What about the program or about reflexive verbs? Fire away your questions.
At the risk of being gauche, the original, the 15 hours cost on that.
Cost, we don't teach the 15 hours separately. If you're in the program, we want to work with you to a result, right? The 15
Gotcha.
hours is part of our conversational program.
Gotcha.
Right.
So
So what we'll do is we'll assess you and say, okay, here's where you are. You're here. Here's where you want to be. How much time do you have per week to 3 hours a week, 5 hours a week, 7 hours a week? Okay, this is how much time it'll take, et cetera, et cetera. And we create a plan for you to reach your goal. Right. So, so prices are based on your goals and getting you to a goal. Right. So it depends. Some people are, you know, almost conversational. They just need a little bit. Some people are total beginners. They need a lot. Right.
Assume you're a total beginner.
We'll go over everyone's commitment. Their goals are slightly different. So I don't want to go over prices, but I can tell you that competitively speaking, it can be as low as $4 a day. If you add up the hours that you're putting in and the days you're putting in, it gets down to as low as $4 per day.
Sounds fair. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually taking a trip to Merida this next week.
Okay.
So I'll find out just how bad my pigeon Spanish is.
Good.
And then probably set up an assessment when I get back from there.
Perfect. And even if you did the assessment before, the assessment is free. And what we would do is say, hey, on your trip to Merida, here are the things to look out for.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so just fcsprogram.com.
Okay.
Okay, fcsprogram.com. In case you, right there.
There we go. Okay.
Okay. So yes, we'll assess you. Okay. All we can promise you is that 99% of Spanish learners, and you guys can tell me if I'm lying or not, Okay. 99% of expats living in Mexico, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Puerto Rico, 99% don't speak conversational Spanish. I would give it maybe 95%. What would you guys say? How out of 100 people, how many speak conversational? How many tourists, how many expats speak conversational? Would you guys guess out of 100? You're on mute, JD.
Yeah, so I would say maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, 5%.
You know, a
1%.
friend of mine said the other day, she said, well, it's no problem for you, you're fluent. And I just laughed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
it's a small percentage, right? My point I'm making is it's not because every 95% of people are dumb. That's not, I mean, these are people like all of us here who have jobs, careers, who have succeeded in many, many businesses in their life, who have graduated with degrees. It's not because people are stupid. That's not why 95% of people aren't conversational. The reason they're not is the system of Spanish is flawed. Completely from the ground up, it's rotten. The apps, the tutors, the teachers, the high schools, the colleges, all the way through the universities, they are built for either survival Spanish or academic Spanish, one or the other. It's either too survival, just memorizing a lot of random stuff, or it's too academic, not enough real world. And very, 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 very few programs in the world, and I've been learning Spanish for 25 years. I've been living in Latin America for 15. Very, very few programs out there have the right balance of academics and immersion and to get you conversational. And there are certain things that we just do better. I don't know why. You know, there are certain things we do that I've never seen other schools do. Simple things like pronunciation, listening skills, all the way up to this reflexive verbs workshop. I know that nobody explains it as simply as we do. And I don't know why, just is, but I know this works. I know that it's practical. I know that it is built to be practical because that's what we want. We want real world results, real world conversation. So that's it, that's what we're focused on. And Ali has 10 years of teaching experience. Ali, where did you graduate from get your teaching degree?
I'm graduate in Cuernavaca, Morelos. It's a city in the center of the Mexico. And I have a bachelor in Spanish. I have a specialization teaching Spanish as a second languages. And I have a master's degree in education. And I'm certified in DELE from Instituto Cervantes from Spain.
So pretty much as
Wow.
if you're talking about qualifications, right? You're not going to find anyone more qualified than Ali, right? And then for myself, what I bring to the table is I bring the real world experience of a gringo, right? Like I know what it takes to get conversational from our side of things, right? I understand how you're looking at reflexive verbs, and I understand why it doesn't make sense to you, right? And so you get the combination of a teacher and we have 4 teachers with Ali, 5 teachers, and plus with, you know, along with Ali, that are all just as qualified. So you're getting not just my experience of 25 years of learning Spanish, not just Ali's experience, but 5 teachers who in their own right are the best of the best out there. So this program that you're getting is the best of the best teachers coming together for one mission, right? And so you're just getting a now, if you go out there and get a random private tutor who's not even a 10th as qualified as Ali, do you think that they're going to get you there faster than Ali plus 5 more Alis, right? A lot, right? It's just, we have a great team that has taught in the university system, that has taught in the immersion school system, and we know how Spanish is taught, and we fix the mistakes, right? There's just a lot of mistakes that we fix. you know, and
Yeah.
it starts with it's all of these things. All of these things here have massive mistakes. And that's why I do these workshops, because I'm showing you guys some of the things that are tripping you up. All
Well,
right.
I know, you know, my high school teacher grew up in Spain,
Mhm.
so she really hammered home conversational and correct pronunciation.
Yeah, good.
And this was rural upstate New York. We had our first exchange student was from Mexico City,
Yeah,
and man, I stuck to him like glue.
yeah,
But then when I went to college, it was a military academy at West Point, and we had a Mexican colonel come in.
Mm.
So, you know, I was in there with all these fluent speakers, and I was overwhelmed, but
yeah,
it was not conversational. We pulled our books, and they were all like Elizabethan
academic.
novels and stuff. It was very academic, and I
Yeah.
wanted to kill myself.
Typical problem.
I wanted to kill myself. So I mean, I thought like I had a really good base in high school. But it, you know, it was pidgin Spanish. You know, I went down, I survived, you know, I immersed myself in the culture, but I feel just like I did,
Yeah,
you know, when I was stationed in Germany, that it's incumbent upon me, if I'm going to live in your country, I need to speak your language. And I mean,
and I feel the same, and I think a lot of people feel the same, that their heart is in the right place. People want to learn, but there's just not good schools out there. It's just the facts. Like there are just fatal flaws. Just pronunciation, just the very first unit. I've probably done 1,000 phone calls. And I swear to you, maybe 10 out of 1,000 can read properly. I mean, the fatal flaws are from the beginning, from the ABCs on. There are fatal flaws in the way Spanish is taught.
well, even, you know, my daughter's laughing. I was like, you know, Duolingo is good for, you know, vocabulary,
Survival.
but
Yeah.
beyond that, that's, so I was like, can I find, you know, books, children's books and anything, but
Right.
it's not, I can't find I haven't not been able to find a comprehensive course.
That's all we do.
So
That's all
I'm
we
kind
do.
of excited. I'm kind of excited about this, not gonna lie.
We literally, and here's our guarantee. I still have this up, so apparently it's still valid. I'm gonna take this offer down this week, so this is your week to get this offer, the money back guarantee. But the other guarantee will still be valid after this week, and I don't know how long, but it will be. If you don't reach your goal in the time that we agree, you get free classes until you do. So basically, it means if you keep working, you're gonna get there. It's in our interest to get you there as fast as possible.
Sure.
Okay, but if you don't get there in the time that we agreed, you just keep going until you do. That's our guarantee, because we stand by what we do. We know it works. If you do the work, we know for a fact it works. That's 100% guarantee. If you do the work, you will get it. So, and this is a limited time. So if you sign up this week, anyone watching this video, I'll give it, today's June 15th. So I'll give it till, you know, the end of June. Let's say to the start of summer, June 21st. Okay, that money back guarantee. If you don't hit your goal after a year, you can choose free classes or money back. You can choose. Okay, so that's just how.
I'm not afraid to roll my sleeves up and get my hands dirty, because now I know how to yo me llevarse.
Yeah, that's right. Lavarse, me lavo mis manos. All right,
So,
good, you guys. This is
thanks,
fun.
everyone.
It's a great community. We have a lot of fun together, and we will help you all. If you're watching this replay, just comment below, sign up for a free assessment. We'll see how we can help you. If you like it, join the program.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Allie.
De
Thanks,
nada.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Hasta luego, amigos.
Adios.
If you're watching this video, it means you really want to learn conversational Spanish, whether it's for dating, friendships, relationships, or just to immerse in the culture. I promise you, vale la pena. It's worth it. But I have to be honest with you. My workshops alone will not get you there. These are pieces in a much bigger puzzle. This is the easy part of the journey, the academic part. You need more. You need immersion. You need daily practice with native speakers who will help correct you and guide you, but also make it feel real. You need accountability. Someone to keep track of you, keep you motivated, and make sure you're not falling behind. Those are the things that will give you confidence to go out there and talk to everyone. That's where the real learning begins. So if you want to be able to do this in the real world, let's chat. I'll show you why 99% of expats and travelers fail to ever get conversational, and why we succeed, and how we're going to succeed specifically with you, with your life, your schedule, your level, your goals. Mention the secret word, vamos, for a limited lifetime guarantee, where if you join our program, we'll make sure you get to your goals at no extra cost. If you finish the program and you haven't reached your goals, you continue working with us for free. It's a guarantee. El español te va a cambiar la vida. Nos vemos pronto. Vamos.